What is up, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters? Welcome back to Chalk Talk, presented to you by Deal With It Productions. I'm Preston Deal, and yes, I control everything in that statement because we all know that betting on yourself is the surefire way to make sure you give maximum effort and take no days off. Big weekend. It was a holiday weekend. I want to start off by hoping that everybody had an amazing Valentine's Day. Hopefully, you had a great holiday weekend. Some people had 3 day weekends, some people gave themselves 4 day weekends. Whatever it was, I hope it was awesome. Now, the show on Friday, if you watch the show, if you go back and watch the show on Friday, it kicked off the weekend in a big way. I know that the first episode I kind of mentioned the fact that I wanted to keep these between 15 to 20 to 25 minutes long. I think Mondays is probably going to be in that range of 15 to 25 minutes. Fridays are going to be more. More is happening throughout the week. More is happening through the news, through the NFL, through college, through all of these things. The weekend isn't as big of a deal right now. So, with that being said, I want to go over a few things today and make it short, sweet, straight to the point. Um, the the draft and the combine are kind of these make or break moments for people's career. That's what they think, right? They think like if I go to the combine and I underperform, I'm not going to get drafted. If I don't get drafted, I'm not going to have a successful NFL career. If I'm not a first round draft pick, I'm not going to be anything to write home about. That's just not the case. That has never been the case. There's a lot of ups and downs, like I've talked about in the first show. It's like the stock market. Stock can go up, stock can go down, and it can change in a matter of moments. Literally a matter of moments. So today I want to go over the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl. I know I've done stock risers and stock downers, I guess, downers, fallers. I don't know. We'll figure out what to call that. But I want to give two under the radar kind of guys that really uh, cemented themselves more and more of what I saw at the Senior Bowl, matching what I've seen on tape, and then same thing about the Shrine Bowl. What I saw at the Shrine Bowl, which kind of matches or doesn't match the tape, and what kind of direction they've gone in. I'm going to give you one offensive player, one defensive player from both Senior Bowl and Shrine Bowl. Now, look, before I get into any of that, I want to say if you're a young person out there, or somebody who's in a scouting department, or somebody that's working, for a high school, for a college, or even if you just got hired with an NFL team, if you're somebody that's older that's trying to learn new tricks and get into the game, I'm gonna take these off. Actually, take my readers off. I'm not reading anything, so yeah, this is probably better. By the way, yes, I'm okay. That is something I've been dealing with that I have to get taken care of. But that's besides the point. Now, if you're somebody that's in these departments, that's trying to learn, trying to execute, trying to figure things out, the best way to stand out, the best way for a coach or general manager or somebody that's your boss or somebody that you're just maybe you're trying to impress somebody. Maybe somebody's talking about somebody else and you're scouting somebody and now you figured out this person. When you're watching tape, or you're watching games, you're watching film, you're watching high school film, you're watching college film, you're watching anything to do with like a scouting department, or if you're a young person that's like building mock drafts and like how do they know all these different players? When you go and watch film or you start scouting athletes from a certain team, you have to pay attention not only to the athlete that you're scouting, but everybody else that's around them. Like if you're scouting a quarterback, who are his top targets? Who are the receivers that are making plays? What's the offensive line looking like? Is there a dominant offensive lineman? You're also scouting the defense that quarterback is playing against. Like, if you're scouting a quarterback from like Auburn or Alabama, you're also scouting the defense of like an LSU or an Oklahoma or a Texas, whoever they're playing. So players stand out on tape, and then you start to write it down. You start to take note. You take mental notes of what numbers they're wearing, what positions they're playing. You do your research, and that's how you figure out your board. That's how you kind of figure out who falls where and which player is kind of that under the radar. How does this guy know that guy? All of that good stuff. So if you're somebody out there that's trying to learn about scouting, you're trying to learn about mock drafts, you're trying to be ahead of the game, ahead of the curve, my advice, start early in the season. What I do, and it works for me, it might not work for everybody, is I write down a list of players. I give myself three columns, like column one, column two, column three. and you write down, first column is players that you think going into the season are going to, 80% likelihood that they're going to the NFL. And that's, you write that all down in one column. Those are those top tier players that you really believe. It's probably going to be like 50 to 100 players that you think for sure are going to the NFL. Like I said on Friday, like my number one quarterback coming into the season for this draft was Quinn Ewers. So I already had a pretty good idea going into the season. He would be a column one guy. Like he was going into this draft regardless. A lot of seniors are going to be on that. A lot of upperclassmen are going to be on that. Then you have a column where you write down like under the radar guys. Those are the guys that when you're watching games throughout the season, you're number 2 from this team, number 1 from this team, number 55 from this team, left tackle from this team. You're writing those down. Those are where you start to build that next category of players, who to keep your eye on. The last column, which is becoming more prevalent in this generation of football and everything that we're doing, is the column of the transfers, the transfer portal. You have to track those big names. I'll give you one right now. Carson Beck. He gets hurt, quarterback for Georgia, has a pretty bad injury, doesn't finish the season. Then most people believe that maybe if he didn't get hurt or he finished out the season, he'd be somewhere in this draft where we're talking about quarterbacks on that list. Ends up transferring to Miami. He's a third column guy. He's also a first column guy because probably next year he's going into the draft. So they're going to overlap, they're going to overlay. But that's how you start building your boards. So 4, 5, 6 weeks into the college football season, you start to put quarterbacks, running backs, you start to break them up into these categories. Now, I'm going to release my post Senior Bowl and Shrine Bowl postseason rankings on this video. It will be down below. Also be on my X account, and I'm probably going to post it on my Instagram too. So when you see everything that pops up and where you can find me, and if you stumble across this video, you can just look in the description. I will post everything associated with those rankings and where they fall. Yes, I did the quarterback rankings on Friday. Whoa. I'm in Monday right now. I did it on Friday. These days are getting crazy, especially with the weekends. You got to bear with me a little bit. But I'll give you all my rankings. And then I'm going to probably post, I don't know yet. I'm going to get some feedback this week and see what's happening. My mock draft, my first and second round mock drafts from post-season, post-Senior Bowl, post-Shrine Bowl. Keep in mind, if you're watching these shows or you're tracking my mock draft or tracking the players that I'm putting where I'm putting them, I'm putting them there based right now, not yet, but right now what I would do if I was a GM of all 32 NFL teams with 0 trades. I don't do trades. It's too hard to project and predict and do all this stuff with teams that are trading with each other in the draft, because you could think that a team's going to trade. They don't. You have your board. It could get all messed up. So I just keep it simple, straight to the point. 256 picks. Boom. Just like that. If you're a team that's picking there, you're stuck picking there. Trades will happen. That's inevitable. So keep that in mind. If you're looking at my board, if you're looking at my mock drafts, if you're looking at anything that I have to do with mock drafts or draft season right now or any time before the combine, it's what I would do as a general manager, or if I was in a scouting department or guys that I'd be selling to the higher ups and the executives of this whole operation. Post combine, I'll be doing what I think will happen. And those are big differences. And let me explain. Pre-combine, we don't know anything. All we know is that the last time that you get to witness players playing in full gear, competition one-on-ones, game style, physical football, what they truly are as football players, is the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl. And then if you're in the playoffs, as college football or bowl games or all that stuff. Senior Bowl and Shrine Bowl are very, very, very important to the projections and the trajectory of college players. And you have, everything after the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl is shorts and a t-shirt. Let me explain to you how great somebody can look in shorts and a t-shirt. I can go onto a field right now still and generate enough buzz like this, being in shorts and a t-shirt. Get out there and sling it around. Anybody can do that. There's no competition, there's no stress, there's no anything. So the combine is designed for athletes to show off their athletic ability, which is important. And so is the pro day. But the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl really give you an inside look at what are these guys against higher and lower competition. What are they in competitive situations? Can they come in for a whole week and compete? Can they really build their stock in the up to the right? That's left, but up to the right trajectory, or is it going down? Is it going down to the right? It, Look, the Senior Bowl is a fantastic production, fantastic, and I think this was some of the best talent. I think their roster was stacked out of control. It's a whole production, and Nagy and the boys down there at the Senior Bowl do a fantastic job. I was lucky enough to go to be a part of that, kind of see the way all that works. Been kind of entrenched in the Senior Bowl for a while. Haven't been there in a few years, but this has been, from what I could see, and somebody who's been there and done that and operated in it, this is the roster. This was a very, very, very good roster, and it was put together very well. I think there was a couple snubs that should have probably been invited, but you can't invite everybody. That's just the way it works. But they did a great job. And the city of Mobile, Alabama, they embrace this with everything they have, and it is amazing. If you're anybody that's associated with football, if you're anybody that has any kind of ties, if you're a new or young agent, if you're trying to work, in the scouting departments, or you're anything and you have the ability to go there and somebody's willing to, endorse you to go there, if you have the money to go there, it is worth the travel. And if you are somebody in the media, obviously that's something that you're naturally going to be pressed to go do, but it's worth it, and it's at least worth it to do it once. It's awesome, especially if you follow college football. You know a lot of these athletes. You get to see the face of these guys, and you get to see the overall just trajectory of them getting better every week. They do a lot of communities type of stuff there where they integrate fans and all this stuff. It is a great, great setup, and it is really educational and really valuable for anybody that's really trying to grow themselves in the football, NFL, collegiate type of, business or atmosphere. With that being said, I think the Shrine Bowl was just as good. Their roster was just as good. I mean, I was looking at both rosters thinking to myself, usually in years past, it's like, okay, the Shrine Bowl roster is better, or the Senior Bowl roster is better. And then you kind of just tailor your focus to one and then go back and watch the other one when you're scouting. But this year, both were just A plus performances, A plus roster. Great job by both organizations, both productions. So with that being said, I definitely want to stop ranting and raving because I'll go on for another hour. We know how that works. I want to give you my two stars from the Senior Bowl, one offense, one defense, and then 2 stars from the Shrine Bowl, 1 offense, 1 defense. Now, I can easily sit here and say, and use these guys' names as clickbait. I can give you 100 different ideas and combinations of players that will take my video and run it through the roof with viral clips and all this stuff, which is great. I mean, hey, you're going to do that. You're going to do that. You're going to sit here and talk about the same players that everybody else talks about and use their commentary. That's fine. By all means, you got to do what you got to do to build your page and make a living. But for me, I want this show to be about what I see and providing information that's valuable to people that choose to watch this, that choose to follow along and can hold on to something and remember these type of things that aren't just these top 15 players that we already kind of knew and expected them to be. So with that being said, my first offensive star, who also is a little under the radar but really made a name for himself, tight end out of Bowling Green, Harold Fannin Jr. I'm going to show a clip right here about this play that he did during Texas A&M. Against Texas A&M, he catches this corner route, and he makes like these guys miss, and somehow he gets into the end zone, and it looks like he's moving in reverse. Like, there's just nothing there that screams, wow, super athletic, wow, this is the next guy. There's nothing there on that clip that shows you anything of value, or that's what you would think. But he reminds me a lot of Travis Kelce. I watch Travis Kelce, and it's like, I don't know how you're getting open. I don't know how you're catching the ball. I don't know how you're doing the things that you're doing because you're moving literally 1 mile an hour. But you're making it work. You make it work with what you are and what you have as gifted abilities. He makes it work. Let me tell you something. When you're going for over 150, 200 yards in a game, and yeah, it's lower competition. I understand that. Bowling Green doesn't play anybody dramatic. Texas A&M is probably the best competition that school is going to see for the foreseeable future. Every guy on defense, all 11, including the defensive coordinator who's calling the plays, knows that that guy's getting the ball. And somehow he scores. They're handing it to him on reverses. You're going to see right here, he gets a reverse and he runs the ball. I mean, the overall production that he had at Bowling Green was incredible. And I didn't know how it was going to favor against other competition in one-on-ones and at the Senior Bowl. He blew it up. He really blew it up. I think if I'm a general manager, if I'm in the scouting department and he's there in the second round, he's going to be hard to pass on because from people that I've talked to just in scouting departments and people that I'm connected with all over the place, they believe he could be a day one starter and contribute in the pass game instantly. Now, for all you fantasy football players out there and all you owners and all this stuff, I said fantasy football players. I guess you are playing because it's kind of like a game, but you're not playing. Anyways, or if you're in a dynasty league and you have to draft players, the production and as a fantasy football player, and we do it all as a family, as a group, as a company, everything. We all partake in the fantasy football world. The tight end position has gone downhill in fantasy points so bad. I mean, if you're sitting there on a Sunday night or a Monday night, you're relying on a tight end to even get you 10 points, it wasn't going to happen this year. The tight end position in fantasy football has been horrible. It's been absolutely horrible. So having a guy on your roster that's ready to go, who people are saying will be productive day one, I mean, if he can get you 10 points a game, you're in a great position. And he's somebody that second round pick, they're probably going to pair him with like a heavy blocking tight end. They'll probably use him in the pass game. I mean, we saw what Travis Kelce can do in the pass game when he was younger in his career, when he got teamed up with Andy Reid and those type of things. I think Harold Fannon's going to go to a good team, and I think he's going to explode. He had a great Senior Bowl. So watch out for him. Second round grade on him as of right now. Could go up, could go down. I'm very curious to see what his 40 looks like at the combine, because that's gonna say a lot. My defensive star or standout, somebody that has zero fantasy implications on anybody's team, is Oluwafemi Oladejo. I butchered that completely, but he's a edge player / outside linebacker from UCLA. Let me tell you something. When I was explaining how you watch film, this guy was that guy on film. I'm watching film of other players like Carson Swessinger and all these guys, and I'm watching games live. I'm watching games in my living room, and it's like these UCLA games. It's like, who is number two? Who is number two? Who is this guy? He just shows up, makes plays. And I'm going to show a video right here of he gets sucked in on a tunnel screen against USC. They throw a tunnel screen behind him. Most guys would turn around probably at 6'4", 250 pounds. You're not chasing down a wide receiver. He puts his foot in the ground and chases it and makes the tackle. That is what we call hustle. That is pure heart. I've seen this guy line up over tackles and rush the passer. I've seen him line up over tackles and hold the edge against run plays. I've seen him rush the passer from the guard over the guard in the center. I've seen him stop the run from over the guard in center. I've also seen him play off the ball linebacker. He covered running backs at the Senior Bowl. I mean, the guy played every position basically in college in that front seven, and he dominated the front seven at the Senior Bowl. I mean, is he a top 50, 64 pick? Probably not. I mean, I don't know why, but teams aren't. He's that modern day tweener. I mean, either he loses 10 or 15 pounds and they put him at inside linebacker because he can run, or he gains another 10 or 15, plays the edge. But Man, this guy's got heart. He's going to be a special teams contributor. He definitely has some screws loose up here because his relentless effort is just constant, and he is a very good player. I mean, he, to me, screams Baltimore Ravens. I don't know why, but doing this for so long, I mean, fifth round, I feel like the Baltimore Ravens would love to have a guy like this and just versatile. You'd line him up at Mike backer, line him up at weak side backer. You could have him rush the edges. You could put him over the guard on a 3rd and 11 and have him rush spy like we've been seeing so much in the NFL. So he's pretty awesome. I mean, if anybody knows anything about football or if you watched any UCLA games, this guy's going to be a star, and he won my attention during the season, and it just stuck up and to the right even more at the Senior Bowl. I mean, I can sit here and use guys like Mike Green and Shamar Stewart, and like I said, I could use that all for clickbait. But the guy that really showed up and dominated the week, in my opinion, on defense and stayed there consistently and played in the game, that was the name I butchered from UCLA, Oluwafemi Oladejo. Whatever it is, it's a sweet name, sick-ass name. I mean, way cool. And the fact that you wear number 2 as a defensive end and you're rushing the passer wearing number 2, that's pretty gangster. I can't wait to see his career. I can't wait to see what he has and what team drafts him, because he's going to be a weapon on the defense. Now let's go to the Shrine Bowl. This one was tough. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. This one was tough. The Shrine Bowl had some dogs, some legit dogs. I want to give a shout out to Cam Miller from North Dakota State. We did his little profile on Friday. He was a top quarterback in this year's draft, in my opinion. He could have easily got it. He had a great Shrine Bowl. But the Colorado wide receivers, all 3 of them, my goodness, those guys are awesome to watch. They're all going to be contributors in the NFL, and they're all going to probably be starting receivers, I would assume, day 1 in the NFL on some team, whether it's receiver 2, 3, maybe even 4, maybe returning kicks. But the one that gets the standout for me from the Shrine Bowl is Jimmy Horn Jr. On tape, I'm not even going to lie about it, I didn't really see a whole lot. I thought, yeah, he's good. He's an NFL guy. Had him somewhere in that 5th to 7th round range coming out of the season. He's going to be a 3rd round pick after that Shrine Bowl. I mean, he's going to blow up the combine. He's going to have a great pro day. He's already proven that him as a number 2, even a number 3 receiver on a team is still deadly. His route running is incredible. His in and out of breaks is awesome. And there was so many corners and safeties that I watched at the Shrine Bowl on one-on-ones where I'm like, that guy's a lockdown defender. There's no way that guy is going to ever get beat. Jimmy Horn says, I'll take the rep, blows him away. Like, not even, I mean, if you're playing 2-hand touch or flag football, this guy's scoring on every damn play. He's in the end zone because you can't touch him. His routes are so precise, so incredible. And it goes back to my point on Friday. Colorado had 4 monster receivers, 3 real receivers, and then Travis Hunter, who's going to compete probably on offense too. So it was absolutely incredible watching that Buffalo's logo on the side of all 3 receivers just dominate this Shrine Bowl. Was so cool to see. And I'm excited for Jimmy Horn Jr. He's got a great story. I've followed him a little bit this year and seen what he can do. I'm going to have to go back and watch his tape to see if there's more one-on-one man coverage type of opportunities where he beats the defender that bad. Maybe the ball doesn't get thrown to him. Maybe he drops it. I don't know. But right now I have him in that third round range. I mean, if he's there in the 4th and you need a receiver, that guy is, I'm sprinting the card in. I know they don't really do that anymore, but I'm submitting that name as fast as humanly possible. Now, in the interest of time, let's go to defense for the Shrine Bowl. This guy, Noel Williams, out of Cal. And look, Cal Berkeley. Obviously, I have a personal connection there. The guy's a stud, man. He's long. He's lean. He's fast, he's strong, he can cover, and we know that Cal has been produced under Justin Wilcox. They've been producing a lot of good defensive backs, and this guy's just going to be another one. He's going to be a mid round pick where he comes in and he plays that corner position. He's a long man to man. You could probably put him at safety because he can run. He played in the box a few times. I saw him make some tackles. He's talented. He's a talented player. He's big and he's going to develop really nicely. He'll play special teams. There's also another guy I want to shout out also from the Shrine Bowl really quickly. That's Shamari. Shamari Sim. Sorry, phone's ringing there in the middle of a show. I mean, come on. I'm just kidding. Shamari Simmons from ASU. This is a nasty football player. I'm going to put his stats up right here because they're honestly incredible. Tackles, forced fumbles. He had a huge play in the playoff game against Texas where he blitzes through, I think the A gap or the B gap. You'll see it right here. It forces the fumble in the end zone, and then you'll see him laying on the ground trying to make the tackle again when Quinn Ewers catches the ball and gets the safety. He missed the first half of that game because of a targeting penalty, which happened right here against Rocco Beck of Iowa State, this was a brutal hit. But he comes back in the second half of that game, and ASU gets back in the game because their defense is 100% different with that guy on the field. First half, they got taken advantage of. Second half, not even close. He can cover, and he's physical. So 2 for 1 on the Shrine Bowl. I really like the Shrine Bowl defenders. But Simmons out of ASU and Noel Williams out of Cal, look for them to be huge contributors. Big time players, and I think they'll develop into their roles really nicely once they get to the NFL. So also have a vested interest in and a personal connection to ASU. My wife went to ASU, so we have a connection to that team. So not only do we have a connection to FCS and UC Davis, to Berkeley, to ASU, we have connections all over the place. So yes, you guys have to understand when you're doing scouting, when you're doing evaluations, you're going to have your biases. They're going to be ingrained into what you do, your ideas. You're going to have biases for your favorite teams when you're mocking players into the NFL. You have your biases when you draft players in fantasy football. So just keep those things in mind when you're watching any type of organization or program. There's always going to be bias-based type of journalism, bias-based drafting, bias-based everything. So with that being said, appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the love and support. Appreciate all the comments and everybody, cheering me on, especially over the weekend. The feedback's been awesome. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, do the whole thing. Leave me any questions if you have any players that you are on the fence about or you want a breakdown of what your NFL team should do. Get in contact with me. I'll try to do it. I have some exciting news coming up. We're working on getting guests. We're going to get people on the show physically here in the studio. We're going to get people that are going to call in that are going to have a segment each week. So look forward to that. Fridays are going to be longer shows. They're going to be up into that 45 minutes to an hour because we're going to put our guests on Fridays. Nobody really wants to wake up on Monday and do this stuff. I do. So if you're listening to this, if you're stuck in traffic, if you're bored one day, if you're getting information, get in contact with me. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave them down below. Message me whatever way possible. But yeah, for Chalk Talk and everybody associated with Deal With It Productions, I'm Preston Deal. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you had a great weekend, and I will see you all on Friday. Peace.